If it's in a word, or if it's in a look, you can't get rid of the Babadook. Does anyone remember that 2014 Australian horror film, The Babadook? If you've been online, you've probably seen the meme of the screaming kid and exhausted mom yelling, "Why can't you be normal?" Yeah, that's on The Babadook. A horror movie that came and went while still leaving an impact on pop culture. Or at least online pop culture. Whenever anyone asks what's my favorite horror movie, I say The Babadook. There have certainly been other horror flicks in the past 10 years since its release, more popular or avant-garde, but I still stick with my accidental gay icon. For those that needed a refresher, go watch the movie. It's 94 minutes and a great creepy time. For those that are too long didn't watch, a monster makes itself known to a lonely mother, Amelia, and rambunctious child, Samuel, through an ominous rhyming children's book. The more Amelia denies the existence of the entity, the more it begins to stalk the vulnerable family, preying on a shared past trauma. We then see the descent of a mother losing control to paranoia and isolation, until the monster becomes oh so real. Now pause and jump here, as spoilers are ahead. When the Babadook finally possesses Amelia, it kills the dog and chases after Samuel, who's been prepping for an encounter the whole movie. Only after trapping his possessed mom does she get the chance to grapple back control and let it loose. Only this time the monster isn't destroyed or set free to haunt another family like in most horror films. It runs to the basement, where the mom takes care of it with a bowl of dirt and worms. It's in this unique ending that draws me to call it my favorite. After being tormented by what can only be construed as a grief demon, it's a first for me to see a character take care of their tormentor. If you've seen the movie or the thumbnail of this vid, you know the theme of the movie. It's grief. Grief is ever consuming in this film, as we find out it's been 7 years since the accident that took Amelia's husband and Samuel's dad. Others have moved on, and they say it's time to do so as well, but she's been wearing gray tinted glasses ever since. Grief in this story converts a modern home into an almost black and white gothic abode, and everyone is so stuck in their own heads to take notice. Again, only mentioned once by a passing comment from the sister. Grief is a natural response, like a reaction to a psychic wound. Grief helps the pain scab over and eventually leaves a scar, a remnant mark and evidence that you loved someone dearly. Some pick at that scab and let it fester. We see that here in The Babadook. The reason I love this horror movie in particular is because it depicts a character going through a real painful experience through the lens of a darkness taking hold of a person, a supernatural depression. And in the end, it's a combination of tireless support of a loved one and the willingness to push through that the grief is abated. Not defeated, but taken control of and put aside so one can move forward. And in the end, that grief doesn't vanish. It persists in the dark corners of the basement, or as in real life, persists in the dark corners of our minds. Because, as I said at the beginning, if it's in a word, or if it's in a look, you can't get rid of the Babadook.